Come on. There it goes. All right. You ready, Miss Mitchell?
I'm ready, Mr. Trosh.
All right. Let's go. Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us for the Community College Options webinar. Tonight, we're going to be taking a look at our community college options. But before we go into that, I want to make sure you're aware of the Claremont High School webpage resource for juniors. Get to this one here. I'll show it to you eventually. I'm sorry. Maybe not. On the Claremont High School website, resources for juniors, make sure that you are, my computer is not working right. There we go. There it is. Counseling page, counseling resources for juniors. And this is where we post all the videos, the webinars, the slides at the end of the presentation. We post it up here as well. Usually by the morning we have it up there. But this is where you're going to find all the resources you need for college admissions. With that being said, let's jump into our PowerPoint presentation on community colleges.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get us started. And again, welcome. We are really glad that you're taking advantage of this opportunity to learn tonight about community college options. And you can see on the slide in front of you what is on our agenda. We're going to hopefully answer these questions for you. So the why community college is an option, who should attend, the different programs that exist at the community college level, the duration of time, and just other things that you need to know. So we've got a packed evening, but we think you'll come away with a good understanding of why this is a viable option. So let's go ahead and move into why community college. And I'll start by saying one thing that we tell students all the time is that it's better to have multiple options to choose from. Because you don't know how your situation is going to change. You don't know what your needs are going to be. And so there are a lot of great reasons for community college, and they're listed here. I'll go over those a little bit more in depth. But again, I always say it's better to kind of understand what the situation is or what the systems provide for you. It's not uncommon at all for a student to have a goal of going to a four-year college and then decide maybe junior year or even senior year, you know what, my financial situation or just things in my personal life are dictating that, you know what, a community college is a better option for me. So as I was saying, one of the whys is affordability. Community college is an extremely affordable option to work towards either a certificate program or to work toward your four-year college degree. And so that's one of the key reasons why a lot of students will decide that, you know what, I want to consider community college because I will save so much money by starting there. The community college has a much easier admission policy. So in other words, the requirements that you're used to hearing about, those A through G requirements, whereas those are good requirements for all students to aim toward, and many of our students who do attend a community college are attending having met their A through Gs, those aren't required for community college. You simply need to make sure that you're a high school graduate or 18 years of age. There's a lot of flexibility for students who opt to go to a community college. So in other words, many times students will need to work and they can find that their schedule is more accommodating if they're taking classes at a community college. Community colleges tend to be smaller than a lot of your four-year institutions. Now, what's nice about the community college system in California is that there are a range. So we have smaller campuses such as Citrus, but we also have large campuses such as Mount SAC. But in general, they tend to be smaller campuses. Many community colleges will give you hands-on experience. So you can be in a program in which you are, if you're interested in cosmetology or you're interested in early childhood education, you're doing things that are hands-on experiences. There are work opportunities with a two-year degree. So many students come to discover that, you know, the career or the job, the profession that I want to go into after high school doesn't necessitate a four-year college degree. And when you start investigating, you might realize that a two-year college degree is adequate for what you're wanting to pursue as a career. And the community college really does give a student a chance to kind of mature in their academic aptitude. So let's say, for example, you aren't meeting those requirements to go straight into a four-year college. You can go to a two-year community college and work to improve your grades so that your transferability is far more intact, that you're able to then transfer after 2 years to the four-year college of your choice. Okay. And the way that it works is if you are at the community college doing what you need to do, taking transferable courses, those 2 years that you spend there are tagged on to the school that you transfer to. And so ideally, you only have 2 additional years once you transfer. All right. So those are some reasons why you should consider community college. Let's talk about who, and some of that's already been addressed, because again, students who are looking for a financial break and not wanting to spend a ton of money up front definitely are students who should consider attending a community college. But some other things about who should attend: students who are looking to advance their career skills. So one of the things that you'll discover is community college, it incorporates different types of students. Incorporates students who are coming straight out of high school. There are also students there who might go for a specific program. You want to learn a certain skill. Maybe you've already graduated from high school. Maybe you've already gone to a 4-year college, but you might want to advance your skill set in a certain area. And you might find that you can do that by attending a community college. Also, again, like we talked about before, and this is a really big part of it, students who can't afford a 4-year college. We're seeing right now, especially in the climate that we're in, that a lot of our seniors who were planning on a 4-year college, who were admitted to 4-year colleges, who may have gotten financial aid or financial assistance for their 4-year college, but they are still in a situation where they feel like, you know what, I'm in a point right now where I do need to save a little bit more money. I don't want to go into debt. So a community college is an excellent opportunity to save money. Some students really just aren't ready for the 4-year college experience. And that could be that they might not be academically ready. So let's say that you did okay in high school, but that you realize that, you know what, I didn't necessarily get through 2 years of that language. And I didn't necessarily always get the C or better that I needed to meet the 4-year college admission requirements. Those are students who could also attend a community college, okay? Students, like I said, who need to work, students who don't necessarily want to go full time. Most 4-year college students are in a full-time program. That's what it's intended for. But there are some students out there who really do need to work while they're getting their education. When I'm meeting with students, sometimes I'll ask them, what are your plans after you graduate? And they'll often say, well, I'm going to go to work. And my response is usually, okay, and while you're working, will you be taking any classes? Because it's a really valuable consideration to continue learning. Because no matter what job you're going to go into, you still need to build your skill set. So whether it's business, whether it's finance, whether it's English, whether it's math, you still need to be building your skill set in order to advance in whatever career you're most likely going to go into. Students who are not quite sure of what they're wanting to major in. Now, granted, there are several students who go to 4-year colleges who aren't 100% sure of what they want to study, but they usually have a general idea. Sometimes that changes. But we also have students who really don't know. And they feel like, well, if I don't know what I want to do, where should I go? Community college is a great place for you to go and continue to explore coursework to figure that out. So these are just some examples of the types of students who should attend or who should consider attending community college.
So there's 2 major groups of community college goers. The first one's going to be the students who are looking for career programs, students who are looking for career and technical education. What this is groups of courses that are oriented around vocational training. Usually it's 1 to 2 year programs, and you'll come out with 3 different possible results: a certificate, a license, or an associate's degree, and sometimes 2 or 3 of those in one program. On the right-hand side, you see a picture of Chafee's, career tech program in X-ray technician. And I just want to quick show you some of the options that are available at Chafee. So we're going to pop open this website here. If you take a look, scrolling down, eventually, we're going to start seeing all the different options available in different program areas. Business here, office technology, computer information systems, and all of these are going to offer either certificates, licenses, or 2-year degrees in that specific area. And really, these are designed to get students ready for the career fields. The second area, the second big group of community college students are students who enrolled in transfer programs. So the way a transfer program works at a community college is a student spends 2 years at the community college and 2 years at the Cal State and UC. Add those together, you get a 4-year degree. it's the same diploma for half the price, essentially. When you spend 2 years at community college and transfer, your 4-year degree doesn't read 2 years at Citrus, 2 years at UCLA. It reads UCLA, and that's it. In California, 80,000 students transfer directly from the California Community College system to a UC or a Cal State every single year. And 40,000 additional students earn associate's degrees that ready them for transfer, but don't make that switch immediately. The Cal States and the UCs offer high priority admissions. So when a Cal State and a UC is accepting students for undergraduate degrees, they're accepting community college transfer degrees students at a higher rate than students right out of high school. Students transferring from a community college to a UC have a higher 4-year graduation rate, meaning if they transfer from a UC, if they transfer from a community college to a UC, they are more likely to actually finish and graduate from the UC. In addition to that, they have equal 4-year degree completion rates. What that means is to complete a 4-year degree, coming from a community college to a UC takes the same amount of time. It's about 4.3, 4.4 years, 4 point and a little bit of change. And that's because there are some students who take an additional year at the UCs to get their 4-year degree. And it's equal between the two. And so that means, we're going to talk about this in a little bit, when you go through a California community college, the transferable courses you take directly relate to those UCs and Cal States. Again, we're going to talk about that next.
One thing I'll add to what Mr. Trost just explained regarding the transferability is one of the goals of the community college system is to be an avenue for students to transfer. So when students are considering where they want to go, in fact, we always end up with students who are admitted into 4-year colleges, but let's say that the 4-year college that they're admitted to isn't quite the school that they're wanting to attend. Maybe it doesn't have the major, maybe it's one of the schools that's like, well, it's okay, but I really want to go to UCLA or UC Irvine or Berkeley or someplace else. Starting off at one 4-year college and transferring to another, so from one UC to another UC isn't always a streamlined process. One UC to another UC or one UC to a private isn't always a streamlined process. Sometimes it can be, but the goal of the community college is to take students who come there first and then plug them in. And Mr. Trost will explain some of those programs that actually align themselves and articulate with the 4-year institutions. So quite often students who are looking to graduate from a certain 4-year college will find that they have an easier chance or a better chance of doing that if they do start off at the community college and then transfer directly into that 4-year institution.
So the first area of transfers that Ms. Mitchell was referring to is transfer agreements and transfer admission guarantees. Now, this is mostly with UCs. So it's an agreement between the UCs and the community college that guarantees admissions to students who are part of these TAG agreements, transfer admission guarantees. Okay. The way this works is when you start at your community college, in the first month of your first year, you will go in to see a counselor and sign up for a transfer admission guarantee to a specific university. Once you complete your your general ed requirements at the community college, you're guaranteed a spot at that UC that you picked back in your first year. In addition to that, the courses that you take underneath this transfer admission guarantee agreement are all 100% transferable units. And this is really important because if you don't have transferable units, that means you're going to be retaking coursework at the UC, which is going to extend the amount of time you're going to be spending in college to get that 4-year degree. So when we talk about the transfer admission guarantees, we're going to talk about something else called IGETC. All of these are really important to understand. It's all about making sure your units are transferable. I want to quickly show you, let's go to Chafee's website this time. This is Chaffee College's transfer guarantees for the UCs and the Cal States. And this will show you a list of all of them. I'm not going to go into this, but if you take a look right here for the UCs, Chaffee College has an agreement with UC Davis, UC Irvine, UC Merced, UC Riverside, UC Santa Barbara, and UC Santa Cruz. Okay.
I think this one might be Mount Sac, but that's fine. But
I did Mount Sac. I thought I was doing Chaffee. Thank you
Nope,
for
that's
catching
fine.
that. I apologize.
We did Chaffee earlier, so this is good. I like it.
They are all linked there, though. So all the 3 popular community colleges are all linked on the slides, and that'll be available after the presentation. Let's go back to our PowerPoint real quick. Okay, so in addition to the transfer admissions guarantees, there are transfer agreements. So this is for a student. Let's say you're going to community college and you don't know that you want to go to that UC. You think, yeah, maybe UC, but I'm also looking at a Cal State, or perhaps you want to go to a private school, or perhaps you want to go to UC that does not have a tag agreement with your community college. This is one of those situations where you're looking at different options for your transfer agreements. Okay, the first option you're looking at is an associate's degree for transfer. Now, these are going to be major specific. So if you maybe don't know what school you want to transfer to, but do know what your major is going to be, this is a great way to get into your major a little bit earlier while you're still in community college. So taking some of those courses that are high interest to you, and make that transferable to your 4-year degree. Okay. Some of us don't know what major we want to go to. We're completely clueless. We haven't figured this out yet. Okay. And this is with a student who wants to look at the general education transfer, or IGETC. I won't tell you what that means because, quite honestly, it's incredibly long. But what this is it takes a look at the general Cal State and UC requirements for transfer and gives you a set of courses you need to complete to be ready for a transfer. And all of this is laid out in detail for you. So when you're looking to pick classes, you'll know up front what you're picking is going to be transferable. And again, the most important part when you're attending community college for a transfer degree is you want to make sure you have transferable units when you leave, okay? When you're going for a transfer degree, you do get priority admissions to UCs and Cal States. And if you think about this, a Cal State and a UC is admitting you after you've already completed 2 years of college in a program that they've verified to be rigorous. And so they're looking at you as a student who is already going to be successful, which means you are more likely to graduate. And that actually statistically bears out. We mentioned that earlier. The graduation rate for students who transfer from community college to a 4-year degree is actually about 10% higher on average across the UC and Cal State system. The last thing is with these transfer agreements, as opposed to a tag agreement or transformation guarantee, it does give you a little bit more flexibility with your college options. So early decision. So Citrus College is our local partner institution. What that means is Claremont High School has a unique relationship with Citrus College. Many of you know they actually fund our summer school. But in addition to that, they provide a lot of extra benefits to Claremont High School students. One of those benefits is the early decision program. So this is the program at Claremont High School that you'll sign up for in October and November of your senior year. This is done through our Career Center. And by signing up for early decision, you are given priority registration. And priority registration means when you go to pick your classes at Citrus College, you're picking first. Why is that important? Important for a couple of reasons. The first reason is you're more likely to get the class you actually want to get. And secondly, you're more likely to get the class in the time you want to get. So this means if you need to take an English class for your transferable units, if you have priority registration, you'll get to pick before all the other freshman students and actually be able to get that class. Sometimes getting those prerequisite general ed classes can be competitive. In addition to that, let's say you're trying to make sure you're not taking classes at 7 a.m. in the morning. Guess which classes go last? 7 a.m. in the morning. So if you want to get a class that's not early, priority registration will help with that as well. Another part of the early decision program is an application walkthrough. So when you apply with the early decision program through Claremont High School and Citrus College, they will actually take you through the application step by step. In addition to that, they're going to take you on a campus visit and tour and give you some additional advisement. Now, some of you who have already looked at some of our other material know about this early decision process for the four-year colleges, especially private colleges. While this is called early decision, it's important to know that this is not binding. You're not guaranteeing your spot at Citrus College by signing up for the early decision program. So what else should you know? We already talked about application timelines for Citrus College early decision, but for other community colleges, generally speaking, your application is going to be in the spring of your senior year. Community colleges are also really good backup options. Many of you applying straight to four-year schools are looking for that safety school, that safety option. And having community college in your pocket is a really good option if you don't get into the school maybe you really want to go to, or if down the road you don't get into, or if down the road you don't have the finances to make it to the school that you were accepted to. So this is a really great option to have in your back pocket in case you need to use it to continue on in your education. Excuse me. Especially using the Citrus College early decision. Because it's not binding, you're not losing anything by applying early decision for Citrus College. The last website I want to show you on here is assist.org. I won't visit it, although there's another video which I've done that actually does go through assist.org and show you a little bit more. But assist.org is a community college, California Community College System website that helps students design a program of study for specific majors at specific colleges. So if you're looking at transferring to, let's say, UC Irvine and applying for their pre-med program, assist.org is going to show you the list of courses you need to take as a freshman at Citrus College to be ready to transfer in 2 years. It's a little more detailed than the general transfer agreements, the IGETC. It's going to get you a little more detail in terms of some of the specific major classes you want to take while still at community college. Ms. Mitchell, anything else you want to add before we go into questions?
Sure. I would like to add something that we generally talk about when we talk about community college, because a lot of students and parents aren't aware that many community colleges actually have an honors program. And I'll use Citrus as an example because we work so closely with them and we're very familiar with their honors program. And any community college that you're interested in, I would encourage you to investigate. Just do a search on that community college's website about their honors program. The honors program takes a system, the community college system, which already makes transferability a more likely occurrence, and it kind of doubles it. So not only are you more inclined to be able to transfer into the school of your choice, but if you are in an honors program at a community college, that really increases your opportunities to be to transfer to a school that you are wanting to transfer to after those 2 years. Honors programs typically have, it's a smaller cohort of students. There's usually, the classes are smaller. You get a lot of that one-on-one kind of interaction with your professors that really prepares you to transfer to the school of your choice. Students often get great opportunities through honors programs. Some students are amazed to find out that you can actually study abroad while you're at a community college. So you don't have to wait until you're at a four-year college to have that opportunity to study abroad in another country. Many honors programs will offer different things like that. Typically, there is an application process. And so in order to be in an honors program, you do have to apply. So students, this is again another reason to keep your grades up. Many seniors or rising seniors will say, I know I'm going to go to a community college. However, I want to meet my A through G requirements. I'm really looking at going into an honors program at the community college. That's a very, very smart idea, and it's a smart option. So the other thing I'll say is, when we talk about community college, it's easy to kind of lump them into two separate categories, community and four-year. But students, please be aware that community college is college. The reason why these courses are transferable, the reason why you can take an English 101 class at Citrus and transfer that to a Cal State or a UC is because it's a college class. So community college doesn't give you license to just kind of kick back. Whereas their admission requirements aren't as stringent, the expectation is still that you're going to come in and be able to do college level work, that you're going to be able to come in and get a full year's worth of education in a semester. That's the community college system. So I just wanted to kind of emphasize what honors was, that honors programs do exist there, and also that community college is a very respectable, it's a college system. So don't underestimate what it can, the value of it. And so that's about it for me, Mr. Troche. We can go ahead and go to questions.
Let's go to questions. So the first question, do I need an SAT or ACT for community colleges?
Great question. The answer is no. That is not a requirement for community college. Like we were saying before, the admission requirements for community college are quite different for four-year institutions. There is not a GPA requirement, although for certain programs, you will want to make sure that your GPA is in alignment, like with honors, but you need to be a high school graduate or be 18 years old. They do not require SAT or ACT. In the case of students who say, but if I want to transfer, let's say after 2 years, I want to transfer, in most cases, you still won't need an SAT or an ACT, because that four-year institution that you're transferring to is going to use a different set of criteria. They're not going to look so much at what you did in high school. They're going to look at what you did those 2 years, all those courses that Mr. Troche was explaining. Those are the courses that they're looking at to examine your transferability into their institution. So SAT and ACT are not requirements for the community college system.
Excellent. Thank you. Next question I have here is regarding the transfer admission guarantees. I only saw a few of the UCs on the website. Are there other transfer admission guarantees for UCs on different community colleges? So the answer to that one is yes. So essentially the question is, do different community colleges have different transfer admission guarantees? The answer to that is yes. Each community college has developed partnerships with four-year UCs for transfer admission guarantees. And which community colleges have which transfer admission guarantees depends on the community colleges that you're looking at. So if you're looking for a specific university for transfer admission guarantee, you want to look at different community colleges to see if somebody does have that one.
Right. And that's a really good question, because it goes back to kind of beginning with the end in mind. So when students are trying to decide, well, which community college should I attend? The question I will often ask is, well, where do you ultimately want to go? Are you looking to get an associate's degree? Are you looking to get a certificate? Are you looking to transfer? And if you're looking to transfer, then let's start there. Which institution are you attempting to transfer to? Which four-year university? And from there, you can start examining which of those universities have tag agreements with with the specific community college. That also encourages students who might be considering a community college as opposed to a four-year college to still do their research. Sometimes students will come in, especially maybe in their freshman, sophomore, sometimes early junior year, thinking, I don't really have to think too hard about this stuff because I'm going to community college, not realizing that this is still a process and it's still college. So if you know what your ultimate goal is, where you're trying to wind up, there's still research that you should be doing in your junior, senior, and even sophomore year, as far as where do I want to end up so that I know the best community college to get me there.
So the next question we have here, are we guaranteed to get into any community college, or are we only guaranteed to local community colleges? So that's an excellent question. So community colleges, admissions requirements are one of two things. Either you are 18 years or older, or you completed a high school diploma, and you are guaranteed admissions to a community college, whether that is here in Southern California or up in Northern California. California Community College accepts all students who are either 18 years of age or have completed a high school diploma. Now, the difference is with Citrus College, we have a partnership. And so you will get some extra benefits with Citrus College. So while you don't necessarily need to go to a local community college, there are some benefits to doing that. Does that make sense, Ms. Mitchell? Anything else?
That makes complete sense. And while you were talking, Mr. Troche, one of the things I did want to emphasize to the viewers is, if you've lived in other states, you might recognize that you're very lucky to be in California. Other states are great, but what I'm talking about is the educational system. And the fact that we have two premier public education systems, the UC and the Cal State, that are throughout the state of California, and that we have so many community colleges, again, peppered throughout the entire state. Not every state has the resource. Not every state has the volume of community college access that you have here. So again, keep that in mind, because I think sometimes we take things for granted and we don't necessarily go after it with the same vigor as we would if we realize, you know what, this is kind of a gold mine that I'm sitting on, that I can go to a community college, pay, minimal fees, and be able to transfer to the four-year institution of my choice once my finances or my academics or just my overall maturity reaches that point. So again, living in California, you have a wealth of opportunities that many states can't boast about.
So the next question I have on here is, what if I want to transfer to a private school? Do I still take the IGETC? So this is a slight bit different. Many community colleges actually already have in place transfer guarantees with local private school. So for example, Citrus College has a has a program or a curriculum set up that's guaranteed transferable units with Azusa Pacific, with University of La Verne. So they already have those in place with their local community colleges. But what if you want to, say, go to Citrus College for 2 years and then transfer up to, let's say, Willamette University up in Oregon? So this is where it becomes a little more incumbent on the student. And this is where you as a student have to do your research. So a really good practice, if you're looking at transferring to a school that is not part of the IGETC, not part of the Cal State or UC system, or not a local private school that they've already established a relationship with, your community college that is, you want to start calling the four-year school that you're eventually going to end up at and asking them questions about what will and will not transfer. Your best resource for this is at your community college. They have something called a transfer center. And actually the links that I have in there will take you to the transfer center website. You want to make sure that you're connecting with the transfer center and asking them those questions. They will help guide you on who to call, what questions to ask, and they may already have that information already there. Anything else you want to add to that, Ms. Mitchell?
I think that pretty much sums it up. Every so often I'll have a handful of students, and this is not overly common for me, but every so often I'll have a student who's dead set on going to a certain school out of state, and they have already actually researched a community college in that state. Now, this usually is just students who maybe they have family that already lives in, let's say, Maryland or Massachusetts or wherever. So it's not necessary that you have to go to the community college in the state to transfer to the four-year in that same state. But there are some students who do that kind of research and say, you know what, I know that I'm really guaranteed admission into that private school if I take community college classes at their local community college. And so because I have family that lives there, I'm going to go ahead and when I graduate, I'm going to move, start my community college classes in the state that I'm eventually wanting to attend the four-year. Again, that's a lot of processing and a lot of really, definite decision making. But students who really are researching and kind of knowing what they want to do, I've had some students who've done that also. So again, it goes back to what Mr. Troche said, research the institution that you're trying to transfer into so that you can get a sense of what kinds of coursework you need to take at the community college where you start.
Excellent. I have no more questions on our question board. So anything else for closing comments, Ms. Mitchell, before we sign off?
I'll just say that whoever is watching, I am really pleased that you are watching, because again, I think that students sometimes do feel like, well, this isn't a consideration for me. I know I'm going to go to a four-year college. And I, again, will applaud any student who's keeping all of their options open. Our circumstances change, our desires change, our career pathways change. And some students come to find out that when they're in that second semester of their senior year, what they thought they wanted to do as a junior has changed a bit. And it's a great option to be able to go wherever you want to go, but to make that choice based on whatever your circumstances are. So again, don't feel that if you are researching community college, that means you are definitely going there. No more so than if you're researching four-year colleges that you're definitely going there. Many students start off researching four-year colleges, meeting those requirements, but because they've researched community colleges also, they can change their mind as they need to based on circumstances. So I think it's a really valuable thing that you are getting this information to help you as you move forward. And that's it for me, Mr. Troche.
Well, thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you joining us tonight. We'll be doing one last webinar this coming Thursday on financial aid. We hope to see you there. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys. Good job.